welcome back, everybody. Surprised there's not like the PG-13 rating coming on when Stuart and I get on this
Yeah,
set
really.
together.
There you go.
I'm sandwiched
And it's
right
also-
between.
Right, it's all Stuart's fault too, right?
Of course it is.
It is. It's always my fault. So I want to talk about a couple of different items. Of course, everybody knows who I am, right? Stuart London, handyman, plumber, contractor. Okay.
Best in the West.
Yeah, I like that. The logo on my truck says we call back and show up, but
And you do.
but if we go best in the West, we can
Best
add
in the
one.
West, I think
So let's
so.
start off by talking about checking out stuff under our kitchen sink. Austin, can we get a good shot of that? Okay. What we have here is a T that was underneath the kitchen sink. It was connected to the wall, and this is the angle stop, the valve that went to the faucet. There was another valve on the other side, and you can see how this is rusted. I don't think Austin can see inside the pipe, but there's corrosion and such inside the pipe there, and we've replaced that. The other thing that they did is they had this pipe, which is galvanized steel, married to copper. Okay, two dissimilar metals cannot marry together. We can marry brass and copper together, but in this case, there's a reaction. Again, I don't know if you can see inside
I'm
there or
getting
not.
verklempt. We're talking about weddings here.
But there's a chemical reaction called electrolysis. It deteriorates the metals, causes leaks. You see something like this underneath
Especially
your house.
copper, huh, Stuart? Because it's very
Well-
soft and pliable.
Yes and no.
Okay.
But if you see two dissimilar metals, you see signs of rust, you see signs of blue dripping down
Yeah.
a valve. This is a different type of angle stop. We've talked about these all the time. This is the type that if you're replacing your sink or your toilet, I will not reuse this, as this is factory sweat, and then when we pull it down and bend it back into place, we've created some weak points. They almost always leak. So instead, we completely replace the valve, and then we put a braided steel hose on that, so that 5-10 years down the road, we need to replace a faucet again, or we have an issue, we just replace the hose. This valve is made in Canada, 25-year warranty. This valve is made, I don't know where, but
3 months. If you're lucky.
they're not the best.
Well, let me ask you this, Stuart. Is that what happens? Like sometimes when a home gets built, they don't necessarily put the best equipment in
Right.
there. They put in the cheap hose.
Right.
Next thing you know, you're calling out the handyman. When you come out, you're going to change it out to a stainless hose, which is a far
Braided
superior
steel,
product.
right. So this is a contractor series, this is a professional grade. Along with that, we all know what these are. These are all hose bibs.
Right.
We have these at our house. A lot of them are dripping. If you can't afford to have the plumber come out and replace these because you're wasting water, you can go to Lowe's, Jackson True Value,
They got
Pioneer
tape,
Hardware.
is that-
You can at least get a little plastic cap for, under $1, and you can screw that on, and that, in most cases, will stop the drip. If you, oh my God.
Sure it will.
If you have an anti-siphon valve, there's another thing that's on all the newer houses.
Just work with me, Stuart.
Th-
Ignore them.
Then it will not stop the drip.
There you go.
But these, again, are a little better than the quality that's available at some of the big box stores here locally. About $15, $16 a piece, plus some labor, but we want to replace those if they're dripping and leaking. This is a washer valve. There's different types. You've also seen them with the little box inside the wall with quarter turn. This is what goes in most of the older homes. And again, we're looking for leaks at this point here, a leak where it may be
So
connecting.
you suggest stainless steel or the steel?
Well, we use stainless steel hoses on water heaters, and we use braided steel hoses. They're actually a rubber or a polypropylene inside with a braided
they can
steel
take-
jacket.
Okay.
They can take differences in pressure and such. And as long as we're talking about the washing machine, if you haven't, I know I've brought this stuff up before, if you haven't changed your washing machine hoses
I know. Now
within
you got me
5
freaked-
years,
you got me freaked out
you
now.
need to go down to Lowe's. You can buy a set of them for about $25. They're made in the USA, lifetime warranty. Red and blue, they're color-coded. It doesn't get much easier than that. Replace those hoses. When you go back there and you look and you see what's going on, you may, in fact, say, oh, my gosh, this was ready to give
I
us a
know.
big
You've
water
got me
damage.
freaked about that, so I'm going to do that.
Okay. This is what's called a ball valve. Again, I don't think Austin can see on the inside of it. I don't even
I
think I
have two
can
of those under my
operate it.
house to
Okay.
turn the water
So,
off in the winter.
the ball valve, perfect. we should have one to turn our water off at the
Right,
house,
right.
and it's a quarter turn valve. Most houses have a gate valve. You turn it and you turn it and turn it
I
and
have
turn
this.
it,
Right.
and it finally shuts the water off. If your gate valve or your ball valve is in poor condition, and there is a water leak in an emergency, you can't get the water shut off properly. We want to replace that and be proactive. Talking about water leaks, we want to think about, it's hot right now, but the winter's coming. We want to be able to insulate our
Insulation.
pipes. Okay, this is 3/4 inch wall insulation. It provides a greater level of protection. When we're working way up country, we actually take this and we put another level over that on the outside pipes. If the water's not moving, it can still freeze, but if we give it enough of an R value, we can protect the pipes and usually avoid freezing conditions.
Right on.
You guys know I always talk about carbon monoxide
Yep.
detectors and smoke detectors. I go to people's houses almost every week and chirp, chirp, chirp.
Come on.
And or somebody else will say, hey, can you take those things down for me? Okay, now, if they're more than 10 years old, we probably want to replace them. There's hardwired units. If you have a hardwired unit, that's what I have to put back in there. If it's an older home and you don't have smoke detectors, we can put just battery-operated units. This is carbon monoxide only. If you have any gas appliances, the law requires this to be in your home, okay?
That's great.
And-
Where every family needs.
Right, and then
one or two.
in the, for older people, we even have talking alarms that do smoke and fire and carbon monoxide. And they literally start blurting out, you know, like Will Robinson's
Your
robot.
house is on fire.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Danger, Will
Come
Robinson.
on, Granny, let's
Fire,
move it.
danger, smoke.
Yeah, really.
So in those cases, we want to replace those. The batteries need to be replaced in most of these units twice a year when we change our clocks. However, there are, First Alert does make a 10-year battery.
Wow.
That's a permanent unit, but it's only for retrofit. It's not for houses that have them hardwired.
Okay.
We're again talking about water leaks. This is a replacement cartridge for a shower valve or a faucet, and that is a flapper valve that's inside our toilet.
Toilet.
A lot of people call me up, hey, the toilet keeps on running. Okay, sometimes it's a water level adjustment, but oftentimes it's just this little valve is picked up debris and corrosion, and water's migrating past it. So we want to address those, and I can also put in different valves that give us a better flush.
Now, Stuart,
Stuart-
what about, excuse me, what about people
She
say
just
they-
stepped right on your toes,
I
didn't
sure
she?
did. They put
like that.
they put like a, well, I know he does. They put like a brick in their toilet tank to use less water. Is that what you're going to say? No. We're doing potty talk today.
A lot of people do put a brick in the toilet. All the new toilets now that are sold in the United States are 1.28 or 1 gallon of water, so they're extreme water savers.
Stuart, we're running out of time. Let's give out your phone
I'm
number
gonna
real quick.
go. I'm gonna let you do what you gotta do.
296-3613. If you have an emergency, use the cell phone 304-2199. We're licensed, we're bonded, we're insured. We call back and we show up.
Perfect. And
Thanks for having me.
whatever you do, don't show up at the health department and think that this contraption is gonna take care of your problem, because it's not gonna work.
Sarah's hair today,
That
it's
way.
pretty.
Stuart, it's always a blast to have you on the show. I've been gone for a couple of months.
It's good
I'm
to have you back.
I couldn't have a better person to interview than Stuart London
Excellent.
here on a Friday morning on TSPN. And I think we're going to switch it over to Susie.